And just a few minutes ago, we talked about the great resignation that happened this year due to the pandemic. So what can we expect heading into 2022? Here to talk about some of the trends that we could see in the workplace is psychologist and executive coach and friend of the show here, Dr. Lisa Orbe-Austin. Hi, Dr. Lisa. How are you?
Hi, Colton. How are you?
I'm doing well. So let's dive right into this. You know, I know that you work with a lot of people and help them with career transitions. How would you wrap up 2021 based on what you've experienced in your line of work?
Yeah, so it's a year that I've never seen before. It's a year like no other over the 15 years I've been practicing. And I think it's a really important year for employees and for job seekers because it's really been a time for universal reflection on who you are, where you want to be, where you want to be, are you being compensated fairly? So it's really given us a time to really think about, our title, our compensation, where we're at and where we want to be. So I think it's really been a great year for reflection and also getting what you need and what you want.
Yeah. Is there an age that you're seeing? Is it more young people or is it more older people or is it just all across the board?
I have seen it all across the board. It's pretty universal, the shifts and changes that are happening.
Okay, so let's get into some of those trends that we're expecting next year. For starters, it looks like we're going to start seeing, a lot of people continuing to leave their jobs.
Yeah, since the spring, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has been reporting that people have been quitting their jobs in greater numbers every month. So I think this trend is going to continue into 2022.
Yeah. I know that we've talked a lot about how the pandemic has put the importance of mental health in the spotlight. I mean, literally just before the show this morning, I was reading a New York Times article on COVID depression. So what could we see from companies when it comes to how they address that with employees?
So companies have always had to, and recently in the last couple of decades, have to be concerned about mental health because of the Americans with Disabilities Act. But besides the requirement, I think that it's really important for companies to really emphasize mental health in their experiences of how they recruit and retain employees. I just saw a report from McKinsey that said that one of the reasons there's a labor shortage is because of mental health issues. And so I think employees are going to be looking for better mental health benefits and more concern about their mental health while they're working, whether it's concern about toxic behaviors in the workplace or overworking. All of these things will be very important to them in a way I don't think they've been as much in the past.
Yeah. So something else that I know that we've all started to hear a lot about, those 4-day work weeks. Do you think that companies could start offering those in the next year? Or is this still, a pipe dream?
Well, research shows that 4-day work weeks increase job satisfaction, company loyalty, and also teamwork, and they decrease stress and don't affect productivity. So I think it's really important for employers to really think about, when they think about how people return back to work, about flexibility and autonomy. Yeah. I think people are going to be looking for this, whether it's a 4-day work week or whether it's work from home. I think people want the ability to have a flexible choice about how they work.
Yeah. And this is something that's always been considered sort of taboo, but talking about salary, that could also change next year, right?
Yeah, salary transparency has become a hot topic, especially with relation to the concepts of equity. And so I think it's really important for employers to consider not if they're going to do salary transparency work, but how they're going to do it. Because I think if they don't do it effectively and quickly, employees are leaning toward doing it themselves by disclosing their own salaries and compensation benefits. So I do think it's really incumbent upon employers to really do something about it and quickly.
Yeah. So Dr. Lisa, just while we have a few seconds left, if there's someone who's watching right now and maybe they're considering, resigning from their job and focusing on something else or starting a new career, what do you want to say to those people?
Now's the time. If you really are ready, the market is really good. It's really good not only to have new opportunities and more advancement, but it's also an opportunity to make more than you probably have ever made. The compensation, the field of compensation has really kind of shifted in a way that's very dramatic. So I think it's really an important time to think about leaving if you're considering it. Put your hat in the ring. It's really interesting out there.
All right, good stuff. Psychologist Lisa Orbe-Austin, thank you so much, Doc. We'll see you soon.
You're welcome, Colton.